Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Rise and Shine Yoga. I'm Paul Barr, the owner of Oxford Yoga Studio here in beautiful downtown Oxford. It's another gorgeous Tuesday morning in September, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Rise and Shine Yoga. For those of you that are regularly watching our show, I want to thank you, and for those that are new, this is your first time watching, welcome, and let's do some yoga. So as we always do, I want you to sit into a comfortable position at the front of your mat. Your legs can be crossed or they can be straight. I want you to bring your palms together at the center of your heart. Close your eyes. And before we begin our practice, it's always good to kind of offer up our practice, dedicate our practice to someone or a group of people who is struggling with something. It could be physical, mental, emotional. And by dedicating your practice to someone or group of people, you're generating what we call good karma into the world, good thoughts, good actions, good vibrations. And know that your offering is going to get all the benefits of your practice that you do this morning. So you get the benefit of your practice, and so does your offering. And once you have your offering made, just bow your chin to chest, sealing in your intention, keeping it with you throughout your practice, knowing that you can come back to it at any time during your practice. If your mind, your body, your breath doesn't work maybe the way you think it should, just kind of come back to the offering, the dedication of your practice, that you're doing it for someone else as well as yourself. And we come back up. Let's get right into what we call the yoga breath. Nice inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. And as we exhale through the nose, we're constricting the back of the throat, so we're kind of making a fogging of the mirror sound. So our breath should be like that, nice and controlled and slow. We're not rushing through any of the poses. If you have difficulty breathing through your nose, then you can breathe through your mouth. And if at any time you catch yourself, maybe the breath is kind of shallow or you're panting, just kind of settle down, get back into that nice deep breath. So now I want you to take your arms, bring them behind your back, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and look up to the sky as we stretch out the front part of the chest. And then gently release, bring your arms in front of you, interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. As you press them forward, kind of sit back and round your back as we stretch out the mid and upper back. And then gently release. Now I want you to take your right hand behind your right hip, your left hand onto the right knee, and we're just going to do a gentle seated twist to the right, sitting up nice and tall, looking over our right shoulder. Our right fingers are just on the fingertips, so we're just using it kind of for balance. And very gently come back to center. This time take your left hand behind your left hip, right hand onto the left knee. Then we're just going to gently twist over to the left. Again, sitting up nice and tall. And gently come back to center. This time take your right hand, extend it out on the outside of your right hip. We're going to inhale the left arm up. Then we're just going to lean over to the right, really reaching the left arm over our left ear, really extending that left arm as we stretch out this left side of our core or abdomen or oblique area. Really good stretch. And very gently come back up. This time take your left hand on the outside of the left hip. Inhale the right arm up. And then we're just going to reach the right arm over the right ear. This time stretching out the right side of our body, our oblique area, right oblique. And gently come back up. This time I want you to come to kneel in the middle of your mat. If you have a blanket or a towel, just place it on the middle of the mat. We're going to come to kneel on it. Press your top of your feet into the mat behind you. Then we're just going to sit back on our heels, stretching out our ankle, top of our feet. Won't stay here too long, but we use our feet a lot, and this kind of pose stretches out the foot. And then very gently come back up to kneeling. This time, get on your tippy toes, bring your feet closer together, sit back on your heels. And this time we're stretching out our toes in the back underneath our foot. There's a muscle called the plantaris. You may have heard of something called plantar fasciitis, and that's the inflammation of that muscle. A lot of runners, bikers, really anyone who's on their feet a lot can get it. So this pose is really stretching out that part of the foot. And I admit it's probably not everybody's favorite pose, but it's a really good pose that really takes care of the feet. And then gently come back up to kneeling. So this ends our first segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. Get a drink of water, maybe get a towel, catch your breath, and then we'll see you in the next segment, continuing with our Rise and Shine Yoga practice.
Attention all local veterans. Free eye exams are coming to American Legion Post 108. The event is sponsored in part by Post 108 and by the Michigan Society of Eye Physicians and Surgeons. Certified eye care specialists and surgeons will provide free care to veterans and their families. Saturday, October 31st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at American Legion Post 108.
Welcome back to our next segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. This time I want you to widen your stance. So your stance is probably going to be off the mat. You're going to bring your arms out to a T. And ideally, your ankles will be right underneath your wrists, but if they're not, no big deal. Arms are out to a T, nice and strong. Take a nice inhale. Exhale the hands to the waist. Then inhale a little back bend, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And as we exhale, we gently fold forward, bring our hands or fingertips to the middle of the mat. If your hands can't come to the mat, maybe you can bring them to the shin. And just let your head drop. You can have a slight bend in the knees. Very gently bring your hands to the waist, and then very slowly come back up. arms out to a T. We come up slowly so we don't get dizzy. So we always come up slowly when our head's down like that. Bring your arms out to a T, a nice inhale, exhale the hands to the waist. And an inhale, a little back bend, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Then keeping your hands on the waist, gently fold forward, let the head drop. You can have a bend in the knees if you like. And I want you to concentrate on bringing those shoulder blades together, squeezing those elbows together. And very gently come back up to standing. Bring your arms out to a T. Take another inhale, exhale the hands to the waist. This time take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe look up to the sky. And then exhale, gently fold forward, let the head drop. Hands can stay on the waist. You can have a bend in the knees. You can also bring the hands off the waist. If you bring the hands off the waist, just make sure you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. And very slowly release your hands, hands to the waist. And come back up, arms out to a T. Then we're going to step both feet to the front of the mat and bring our palms together. So now we'll do a few balance poses. A couple things with balance poses. Some people like to stay on the mat. Some people like to get off the mat to do the pose. That's really a personal preference. Another thing is, if you find that you're struggling in the balance pose, try not to force the pose. Just try to relax. And I think by relaxing, it makes the pose easier. So we're going to do a couple options of tree. Bring your hands to the waist. Really press your left foot into the mat as if you're going to press a hole through the mat. And then just going to bring your right heel, bring it on the inside of the left ankle. And then once you feel secure, your core is engaged, we gently bring our arms out, extending from the shoulders, palms facing each other. Our arms are really, really strong. If you want a little more of a challenge, you can always close your eyes. Sometimes that affects people's balance a lot. But again, that's up to you. And gently bring your hands to the waist and release your right foot. Shake it out. So another option for tree is taking the bottom of your foot and placing it against your calf. So again, pressing our left foot into the ground, we're just going to take the bottom of our left foot, press it into our left calf. And then once we're secure, we can bring our arms out. When you press the calf and the foot together, it gives you more stability in the pose. And again, we're standing up nice and strong, core is engaged, arms are strong, breathing. Make sure your foot is not on the knee, so below the knee. And gently bring your hands to the waist and release your right foot. Shake it out. So we'll do the other side. Again, hands to the waist. Press the right foot firmly into the ground. Bring the left heel, bring it on the inside of your right ankle. And then once you're secure with that, you bring your arms out, extending from the shoulders. Really strong, palms facing each other. Again, if you wanted to, you could close your eyes. And gently bring your hands to the waist and release your left foot. And then we'll do the other option, pressing the right foot into the mat, hands on the waist, bring the bottom of your left foot, press it into the right calf. And once you have that stable, you can bring your arms out to a T. And as always, you can go back to the first option with the left heel inside the right ankle. And gently bring your hands to the waist and release the left foot to the ground, shake it out. And we're just going to come down to a Buddha squat. Palms together. So take a quick break, maybe get a glass of water or drink of water, and we'll see you in our final segment for our seated poses and closing meditation.
The Agent Orange Education Program is coming to the Oxford area. Presented by the Vietnam Veterans of America and Christ the King Church in Oxford. Learn about the health risks of Agent Orange exposure at the Agent Orange Town Hall, October 24th at Christ the King Church, 1550 West Drainer Road. Registration at 11 a.m. and Town Hall at noon.
Welcome back to our final segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. This time, spread your legs a little wide. Have the toes pointed to the sky. Bring your hands behind your hips. You're just going to gently press yourself forward. And then extend your arms straight in front of you, either on the mat or they may go off the mat. With every inhale and exhale, see if you can reach a little farther as we stretch behind our legs. And very gently come back up. Bring the sole of your left foot on the inside of the right leg. And again, have your right toes pointed to the sky. Take your hands behind your hips. Press yourself forward and extend the arms in front of the crossed leg. With every inhale and exhale, see if you can extend the arms farther. And very slowly come back up. Extend your left leg out. Bring the sole of your right foot on the inside of the left thigh. Left toes pointing to the sky. And again, bring your hands behind your hips and press yourself forward. Let it really reach those arms out. Trying to keep a flat back. Every inhale and exhale, see if you can reach a little bit farther. And very gently come back up. And then gently straighten both legs and then make your way to lie on your back. Extending your legs straight onto the mat. Keeping your left leg straight. Bend your right knee. Bring it into your chest or bring it into your armpit. Making sure your left toes are pointing to the sky. Make sure your head and back are on the mat. And gently release your right leg straight onto the mat. And this time bend the left knee. Bring that into the chest or the armpit, keeping your right toes pointed to the sky, your back and head firmly pressed into the mat. And then bring both knees into the chest. Really squeeze them in. Maybe rock side to side, massaging the lower back. And then bringing your arms out to a T. Just let the knees drop gently over to the right. And if it's available, you can pick your head up. Take the gaze over the left shoulder, spinal twist. The farther you bring your knees up towards your chest, the more of a twist you get. And close your eyes, just let your breath be normal. And then gently bring your knees and maybe your gaze back to center. Let the knees drop to the left. Again, if you wanted to, you can pick your head up and take the gaze over the right shoulder. And again, the farther you bring your knees up towards your chest, the more of a twist you get. And as always, you may notice one side's different than the other this morning. And very gently bring your knees, gaze back to center. Really hug knees into the chest. Maybe rock side to side. Give yourself a real big hug for taking the time this morning to take care of yourself, to do something for yourself. And then very gently make your way up to a seated position at the front of your mat. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Close your eyes and bow your chin to chest. Coming back to that intention that you made at the beginning of your practice. The light in me bows, shines to the loving, healing energy that comes from your heart. May you have good thoughts, good words, and good actions, not just today, but every single day. And we end with Namaste.
There is a place where the air is pure and water runs sparkling clean. There is a place where a small, quaint village stands, surrounded by vast meadows and rolling hills. That place is the jewel of Oakland County, It's called Oxford, Michigan. If your dream or vision is for a safe, secure, and better life for you and your family, this is your invitation to come see for yourself the wonderful experience that could be yours. It's true that many lakes, nature trails, fishing, and over 500 acres of parks attract lots of people to Oxford. But there's much, much more. Quaint little shops, small pubs, and many unique fine restaurants. Near the center of town is a white church with a steeple, and a park where a live band can be heard playing from the gazebo on hot summer nights. You are easily transported into a more relaxed and unhurried time. Although the village of Oxford reminds you of years past, the warmth and pride of its hard-working residents truly sets it apart from other communities. Oxford School Board has worked with parents to provide their children with the finest education possible. The result? A modern global school system with the first world-renowned international high school program, the 5th Core World Language and Culture program, and 11 premier sister schools expanding the globe from China to Mexico. Oxford residents are safe and secure in knowing they have one of the most modern police and EMT forces in Oakland County. If your vision is to start or expand a new business venture in a fiscally responsible environment, Oxford, Michigan welcomes you with open arms. We are one of the few Oakland County communities to offer the unique one-stop program, where Oxford officials make it easy for developers and builders to complete their projects from start to finish. The one-stop process cuts through financial and legal red tape, frustration that usually faces entrepreneurs as they try to get their project off the ground. If your dream is for a new business venture or a better life for you and your family, there is a place called Oxford, Michigan.
Attention all local veterans. Free eye exams are coming to American Legion Post 108. The event is sponsored in part by Post 108 and by the Michigan Society of Eye Physicians and Surgeons. Certified eye care specialists and surgeons will provide free care to veterans and their families. Saturday, October 31st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at American Legion Post 108. The Agent Orange Education Program is coming to the Oxford area. Presented by the Vietnam Veterans of America and Christ the King Church in Oxford. Learn about the health risks of Agent Orange exposure at the Agent Orange Town Hall, October 24th at Christ the King Church, 1550 West Drainer Road. Registration at 11 a.m. and Town Hall at noon.